Well, astonishingly, the GDP growth rate of Bangladesh has been around 7 to 8% for last 2 or 3 years. In 2018, it has been recorded at an astounding 7.86% in terms of GDP growth rate. Not only that, as per CEBR, Center for Economic and Business Research, Bangladesh is poised to keep this growth rate up until 2033 with an annual increment of 7% in regards to GDP growth rate. The fact that Bangladesh's FDI stands around close to $3 billion in last year shows Bangladesh is already considered a thriving investment hub in the world. The mega projects taken by the government of Bangladesh has been the primary reason for why all these foreign investors are thriving in Bangladeshi energy sectors, Bangladesh communication sectors, and in regards to public road transport sectors in Bangladesh. Not only that, in 2019, Bangladesh exported goods worth of $6.88 billion only to the United States of America. Now, why Bangladesh is said to be such an outstanding destination for outsourcing? What we have seen in countries like India and the Philippines, we can expect to see the same thing in Bangladesh, and being the outsourcing destination because of its massive working age population and the extremely inexpensive overhead cost and extremely inexpensive labor cost in Bangladesh. And it helps that more than 60% of the country's population is aged under 25. And another good news is that much of this population are university educated graduates. And in addition to that, unlike some other countries, in Bangladesh, there is definitely discrimination, but there is less discrimination in regards to women working in the major workforces all around Bangladesh. 63.5 million people are participating actively in Bangladeshi labor force. Not only that, 2.2 million people in the workforce are expected to participate in every single year in Bangladesh. The labor force participation rate, amazingly in Bangladesh, is expected to be around close to 59% in Bangladesh. The Bangladesh Investment Development Authority also recorded an impressive growth of 14% in regards to foreign direct investment in Bangladesh. Almost 36% of the FDI in Bangladesh comes from the manufacturing sectors. The transport, storage, and communication sectors are ranked second with around 25% of the foreign direct investment in Bangladesh. And power, accompanied by gas and petroleum, attracted close to 20% of the foreign investment in Bangladesh, which also bears a very good look due to its government, which is actively promoting all this sector. The power sector has also been constantly attracting foreign investors because of the very generous tax incentives offered by the Bangladeshi government. Now let's talk about how can you enter the Bangladeshi market seamlessly and the incentives that will be offered to you and the generous breaks, and also how you can fund your investment in Bangladesh. Due to the fact that Bangladesh is considered to be a least developed country, that is, it has the status as an LDC country, companies operating in Bangladesh enjoy preferential trade benefits and very, very lenient investment policies. And I'm pretty sure that you are aware of the fact that the Bangladesh apparel sector has utilized this innate competitive advantage in regards to production of its apparel sectors, which makes it the second largest apparel manufacturer just after China in the whole world. Within the next 5 years, it is also expected that 50% of our population will be living in the urban areas of Bangladesh, which shows that there are bright opportunities for investors in export-oriented service, and not only that, also the rising sectors which cater to the domestic demands. Now, how can you enter the Bangladeshi market? The Bangladeshi market can be accessed by you either through a fully or partially owned subsidiaries in Bangladesh, or by setting up a branch or a liaison office in Bangladesh. The type of company that you need to form will depend on your medium and long-term strategy in regards to penetrating the market of Bangladesh. Now, let's talk about the number one option, that is the wholly owned subsidiaries. As per the Companies Act 1994, foreign companies are permitted to own fully or register fully owned subsidiaries in Bangladesh, either through a private limited company or through a public limited company. Company registration documents and its approvals are handled by the RJC of Bangladesh, that is the Registers of Joint of Stock Companies and Firms. And foreign companies can establish their new companies in Bangladesh by maintaining the required compliances set by the RJC. Not only that, foreign companies can also fully acquire any existing companies in Bangladesh. Now, let's talk about limited liability by purchasing shares from an existing company in Bangladesh. Barring from the limitations in certain sectors, foreign entities are allowed to own fully or partially any local companies in Bangladesh. There are no restrictions in regards to transfer of shares to foreign residents in Bangladesh. Foreign investors can sell or buy their shares either fully or partially to any company in Bangladesh. The number three option would be owning a joint ventures company. In Bangladesh, like wholly owned subsidiaries, foreign companies can also incorporate a joint venture company in Bangladesh with Bangladeshi partners. The equity ownership of the company will vary depending on the amount invested by each of the partners in Bangladesh. Now let's talk about how to operate as a foreign entity in Bangladesh through the options of branch offices or the liaison offices in Bangladesh. Foreign companies in Bangladesh can also set up their presence through a branch office or a liaison office in Bangladesh. The activity of the foreign branch office or the liaison office must comply with the foreign exchange regulations of Bangladesh, and all those activities must be approved by the BIDA, that is the Bangladesh Investment Development. A branch office is generally permitted to represent the parent foreign companies in Bangladesh. They are also allowed to engage in activities like import and export. They are also allowed the rendering of the professional or consultancy services in Bangladesh. However, it is pertinent to note that in Bangladesh, a foreign company through its branch office is not allowed to do any manufacturing activities. So as we can see, the foreign branch office will have a lot of flexibility. But unfortunately, a liaison office in Bangladesh will certainly be limited in regards to its activities, barring from acting as a communication channel of its parent company in Bangladesh. Not only that, a liaison office cannot engage in any income generating activities in Bangladesh. Generally, for these offices, no outward remittance of any kind is allowed unless specifically approved by the Bangladesh Bank. A very important point in regards to these branch offices is they are required to bring at least an inward remittance of $50,000 within the 2 months of its setup or its registry. One of the required approvals for setting up a liaison office in Bangladesh is it has to obtain a security clearance from the Ministry of Home Affairs of the government of Bangladesh. And normally, the documents that you would need to set up these branch offices or liaison offices in Bangladesh: number 1, certificate of incorporation from the parent company; number 2, the articles of association, that is the AOA; number 3, the memorandum of association, that is the MOA; number 4, details of the activities of the directors of the foreign companies; number 5, details of the activities to be performed by the proposed or the potential branch or liaison office in Bangladesh; number 6, a fee of 25,000 BDT Bangladeshi Taka to be paid through the process of pay order and has to be submitted to the BIDA, the Bangladesh Investment Development Authority. Once you complete all these 6 steps, BIDA will go through the proper scrutiny of all these documents, and if they are satisfied, they will send it to the interministerial committee, and if the interministerial committee is satisfied, then they will give the approval to set up the branch or liaison office in Bangladesh. However, it is of course recommended to you, before you proceed with setting up a branch or liaison office in Bangladesh, you should take careful precautions in regards to the latest law in Bangladesh, and you should definitely take the aid or help from an established law firm in this country. Now let's talk about the funding opportunities for the foreign entities in Bangladesh for short-term and long-term investment, including loans for working capital, syndication, and trade financing. Some of the local and foreign international entities have access to onshore and offshore funding for foreign investors in Bangladesh. Currently, the financial sector of Bangladesh has 58 scheduled commercial banks, also a lot of NBFIs, non-bank financial institutions, and specialized financial institutes. Apart from raising debt-based funding, foreign investors may also consider equity-based funding from the stock exchanges of Bangladesh. Bangladesh has 2 stock exchanges which are also growing dominantly alongside the country's GDP growth rate. Up until 2019, that is, in the Bangladesh stock market, there are 302 companies listed with the market capitalization almost close to 48 billion USD. The government has preferential policies to enlist the companies in the country's bourses. And for sector-specific companies, the primary benefits definitely include the generous tax breaks. All these advantages and the incentives make Bangladesh the perfect investment destination for you to invest. We will also list all the funding options in another video which you will find in the description box, and we will talk about all the funding options including equity capital, debt capital from local commercial banks, private foreign commercial borrowing, and bonds. Thank you for your generous attention. We will see you in the next video. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you in Bangladesh.